Hi guys, welcome to my channel for new battle report. So this is the first game of Bellum Lacum number 6. I put the numbers wrong. Number 6. And I was paired against the Demon Legion list. Maybe 2-3 words about pairing. So we are playing All the Ground and Breakthrough. We had a quite favorable matrix, as you can see. We sent our War of the Dark God. We were basically having some problems potentially on Vermin Swarm, but they sent something else than Vermin Swarm. I guess they should have sent the Dwarf, most likely. I was kept in hand and paired against the Demon Legion, so we had 2 green, and they chose Dwarvenhold against Demon Legion from us, and then KOE against their Vermin Swarm. You know my list. This is a picture of my army. I didn't think to make a picture on the presentation board, which is a bit unfortunate. But still, this is the whole army at house when I prepared it before breaking several items during the tournament, like it always happens. This was my opponent's list, quite unusual. Demon Legion list, so he has a courtesan, full option, Master Witchcraft, 3 Harbinger on Burning Wheel, 2 of them non-wizard, 1 Apprentice Evocation, 20 Lemures, 14 Succubi, 10 Imps, 6 Orders, as you can see, quite expensive with all options, so Mirrored Scale, Steel Scale, so 5 Armor Save, full command. Then he has a Titan Slayer Chariot, 5 Sirens and 3 Veiled Serpent. So short list, bit blocky list, not the most MSU demon that you might see. So I felt quite good about this pairing. We played Breakthrough on Encircle, and below you have both players' spell selection. Matchup analysis. So yeah, since it's Breakthrough, I want to see where he deploys and want to deploy in front of him to block him from Breakthrough. I have more scorings. I can put some of my scoring in another spot. So if he plays Compact, I want to stop him, and if he plays on the whole board, I will try to counter him as the best I can. So quite happy to play second and play the drop game. I have a lot of drops that I can put before dropping my most important unit. He has low strength and low AP in most of his units, so my Tuskers could be an issue for him in the matchup. Sibarash could be annoying. Will definitely be my priority target for range damage, and my estimation of the matchup was a small win. What happened at deployment? He won the roll for side, and what surprised me a bit, he decided to keep the house and take the big flanks, and he deployed in what could be described as a strong corner. He put all his units in one half of the map and just the 2 characters on wheel, which are non-wizard, on the opposite flank. So we played a couple of drops. I told him you can start to deploy. He put some sirens, I put a giant, I put the scratapult, he put some things, and after like 3 or 4 he decided to drop the rest. So he put his mage wheel, imps, Titan Slayer Chariot, lemures, sirens, orders, succubi, Veiled Serpent, Sibarash, and on the far right the 2 characters. And I apologize in advance, the pictures are not that good. First of all, as you can see, the contrast between the colors of this and my army is not great. And second of all, I took some blurry picture, which happens sometimes in tournament, like you try to be quick when taking pictures, so I apologize about that. And my counter deployment, so as I said, I put quite early the giant on the far left, then I had my Tuskers Ginget unit, 3 Tribesmen, the big unit of Bruisers, Chariot, Dogs, Trappers, Chariot, the 3 Tuskers, and on the far right my 3 Tribesmen. So I wanted to bait him to come over here and maybe get some counter charge, or if he wants to come towards the middle, I can get an easy breakthrough basically. His turn 1, I took the bait, so Vanguard, move max, so I covered the angle that he couldn't move out of line of sight, obviously. So he just moved right here to trap my 3 Tribesmen, but I have a plan in mind. He uses his Siren to chaff Death Star plus those guys. And yeah, mainly the Death Star, he wanted to chaff to be able to push. But at the same time, he didn't push a lot. As you can see, he pushed a bit the Lemures, but not a lot with Orders. I think could have pushed more with Succubi and Orders to be a bit higher in the map. Put Sibarash here behind the hill. Again, he could have maybe have some line of sight just on this combat, not on the, or maybe even on the unit, since I I'm chaffed. I think could have put Sibarash to have a line of sight on my Death Star. Push with the order just to tell me if you charge with the Death Star, I can triple charge you, and then I'm in trouble. In Magic Phase, he got random movement on, I think, those tribesmen. He wanted to avoid them to clean his chaff. Let that go because we're still pretty close. And then he got some wheel turn on them to make me wound on 4-up against the close combat. That's going to come. Not too bad. My turn 1. So on the far right, first of all, I charged with tribesmen and got the 4 on 2 dice to get into those guys. Decided not to charge with the Death Star. After seeing the picture, I think I should have probably charged with the Death Star because not many things could see me. I was still far away from his main threats, so I could have charged with the Death Star here, to be honest. On the far right, I decided to bait him, so I just moved forward with the tribesmen. And I told him, you can charge me, I'm going to flee, and then I can just... I didn't tell him that, but that was in my mind. If he charged me, I can flee and then counter-charge, and that's it. And if you just want to fly 10, he can move where he wants. The Tuskers see him and are going to get a charge. So we will see what he does. Yeah, trap the hill. Just, yeah, move on it to shoot him, I guess. And the rest just rearrange. I decided to be patient on the left, thinking if I get an advantage here, I can get an advantage for breakthrough, see how he react, and then push later, but I didn't fall in a rush. Magic Phase, I got Swarm of Insect off on the Chariots. I wanted to get rid on some of his unit, some of his smaller threats to basically be safer to push forward. I have the advantage from range damage, so I didn't feel really rush to go forward. So I did 2 wounds to the Chariot. Hand of Heaven did nothing on the Chariot, but miscast, and I got 666 on 3 dice. And basically did 3 wounds to my Master Thaumaturgy. So this was a bit scary. Obviously, I didn't roll any 3 dice anymore in the whole game with my Thaumaturgy Master. Took no risk about that. And then I got some hit from the Scratapult onto those guys and killed 5 of them, which was not bad. So 5 succubi, less. Close combat, I didn't do well. He passes the check, reform. So yeah, I think I did 1 wound. I didn't do much. I did 1 wound. I did maybe 2, and I had charge on the flank. He lost by like 1 or 2. Passes the check, passes the reform. That's it. His turn 2, took the bait on the right. He charged. I fled. Other than that, I think he didn't pass the mark check. Reposition Sibarash. Try to be in position to get random move on them. Here we stuck in combat, and then he just rearranged his unit basically. In Magic Phase, he put -1 resilience on my tribesman here. I didn't care too much. He got hereditary on the giant, did 2 wounds, and I dispel with my 7 dice against his 5 random move on those guys. So he wasn't scared to cast 5 dice, but it's the big card as well. And this close combat, I did only 1 wound. He did 4 wounds to me, so I lose and I flee, basically. So my operation to get rid of those guys wasn't a success. My turn. I charge his chaff with Catapult, reposition the Death Star to look here, basically. Reposition everybody. What else? Here I charge the flank of those guys, obviously. Repositions Catapult out of line of sight. Sibarash can only see those guys who can easily flee here and rally on 9 rollable, so no big problem. And I hide my chaff behind the hill, basically. In Magic Phase, I tried to go Swarm of Insect on the Chariot. He dispel. I got Trial of Phase, did 1 wound, and I failed with Hand of Heaven. I got +1 resilience on my Chariot, got rid of the chaff, and just post-combat pivot. His turn 3, he passes the mark check with Sibarash, go here to hunt my back line, basically. Reform those guys in a line to chaff my Death Star. I was still quite far away, so maybe he had some other solution, but he decided to do that. Decided to back off with the succubi that are still depleted, and just reposition compact here to avoid me pushing too much. Magic Phase, I got reroll to wound on something, I think on my Chariot in case I charge. And Hereditary did nothing. Then my turn 3 already. I decided not to commit the Death Star because if I chaff Sibarash, then he can basically maybe third check me. If I didn't pass 9 rollable, then he can get Sibarash, Order, and some stuff. So I felt, let's stay out of combat, continue to kill the Chariots before engaging later on. But I felt I was still forward, didn't need to rush too much. It's only turn 3. Here I pushed toward the breakthrough. Here I move everybody out of line of sight except the Death Star, so he can charge me in the flank with Sibaresh, but that's the only charge I might get, so I'm fine about that. Move away with him, that is on 3 wounds remaining. Giant move a bit away to not get hereditary or shot by imps. And then the Tusker didn't move much for the time. I really wanted to get rid of this guy before pushing more on the left. In magic phase, I got hereditary and killed Giant, which is nice. Then I got +1 strength on my Scratapult, and close combat I did 4 wounds, he did 0. And basically he popped another 4 guys and didn't manage to pass the reform check, which was nice. He's turn 4. He moved Sibaresh on the hill, took, I think, nothing from the traps. What else? Yeah, here we stuck in combat. The rest just rearranged, didn't do much. Magic phase, I got -1 resilience on my Scratapult, which didn't matter so much. Got hereditary, 2 wounds on my Tusker. And close combat, I did 1 wound, so it was a draw because I have a flank. And he was able this time to reform in a better way. My turn 4. Got, sorry for the blurry picture, charge with the Tuskers in the flank, push the Giant forward, so it's time to collect some more points. Push with the Death Star as well in front of Sibaresh, move my Chaff or other unit out of line of sight of Sibaresh. He couldn't fit in between, I guess so. It's hard to read from here, but I guess he couldn't fit in between. That's something I checked. I trap again this hill and move here to chaff his orders. And those guys are making breakthrough. In magic phase, Trier phase on Sibaresh did nothing. Then I got Swarm of Insect off, did 2 wounds to Sibaresh, which is nice. And close combat, got rid of the Lemures. Post-combat pivot to make sure that Sibaresh cannot combo charge my Tuskers. And that's his turn 5, which is going to be unfortunately already the last round, last turn of the game. This is my reform in a better looking picture. it's much better, so Sibaresh can only charge my Death Star or the Scratapult that can flee, or I think most likely flee, yes. His turn 5. What did he do? He moved out of the hill, took 2 wounds from the traps, which was really nice. Those guys didn't charge. He played that quite quickly and made some small placement mistakes. Put the Veil Serpent in front of the Scratapult, the character to chaff those guys, but in the flank. And Imps couldn't go out of line of sight of the Tuskers, but he still decided to push forward towards my Giant to get some hereditary. In magic phase, I binding scroll the spear from those guys, didn't want to lose the Giant. And basically got random move on my Death Star, which I let go because I saw an opportunity to charge out with the dogs and then make random move onto Sibaresh maybe. Which I felt was a good opportunity. And that's it, my last turn. I triple charge, so I double charge the Serpent, charge the character with those guys, charge here, and basically I'm going to kill that, overrun into the Serpent, kill the Serpent, and with Magic Phase I'm going to get Swarm of Insect on Sibaresh on 2 wounds remaining, and I kill him outright. Quite lucky for me, and that's basically the end of the game. So there's only the orders on the table and half Sukubai. I think I got the last hit on them, so half Sukubai, and that's it. The rest is dead. Which ended up being a 20-0 for me. Was a bit surprised. I didn't feel like a 20-0, but I got a huge amount of points on the last round, killing the general, getting rid of Hero, Veil Serpent. That was quite a lot of points. Post-game analysis quickly. So I was right to play the drop game. I felt it was good to be in front of him and stop him from breakthrough. Especially since I had so much superiority in close combat. Basically, he had so many problems to get rid of Tuskers and my Death Star. He has not the strength, not the list to fight against that. He felt in my trap on the right. I think he could have done delay combat, continue to play with me instead of charging. Sibaresh should have been played safer in the last turn. I think he had a possibility to just march away. Even with 2 wounds taken from train, he could have just marched away to make my blast harder to cast. Magic delivered, killed Sibaresh, killed Chariot, which was really nice. Late game rush, he made definitely some mistakes that could have been avoided if he had more time, but that's also part of the game to be able to play good quickly. And I think if I were him, the main mistake at the beginning was to pick the side. I think he should have given me the house. He could have deployed strong on the right flank where there is the house, and then it's already harder for me to put all my units in front of him, basically. So that's something he could have done, I think, a bit better. Yeah, all combined, we capped this round easily. We got 220, 13, 15, so got what we wanted from this first round. Thanks out to our opponent, was a nice round. And next round is definitely going to be much harder against one of the teams that we identified as a strong team from the tournament. Guys, that's all for this battle report. I hope you liked it, and talk to you soon on the channel. Bye bye.